everyone, this is Smakula for SimonsSaysStamp.com, and thanks for joining me today. Welcome to another episode from my bi-monthly Yippee For Yana video series. In today's episode, I'm sharing clean and simple, there's Snow Place Like Home Christmas card featuring stamps from Sunny Studio. I'm a huge fan of little images of houses, trees, cars, basically anything that you can use to build your own scenes. So when I first saw the Christmas home stamp set by Sunny Studio, I knew I wanted to use it to make a simple card for the holidays. I started working on my card by stamping several images from this stamp set onto white cardstock. This is Neenah Solar White, 80 pound. I picked thinner cardstock and not the usual 110 pound cardstock for my stamping because I was planning to cut these images out by hand. And if you use thicker cardstock, it makes it rather difficult to cut. I'm using my stamp platform and stamping a house, a car, and a lamppost in Simon's Intense Black ink onto my paper. You can easily stamp these with a clear block, but I wanted to make sure that I would get a perfect impression, so I'm using my stamping tool to be able to double and even triple stamp my images if needed. Plus, I always like these to have the blackest black outline, and I don't always get that if I stamp images just once. I'm going to need 2 lampposts for my card, one on each side of the house, so I'm stamping the second one here as well. Now it's time to color. I like to use various coloring mediums for various purposes, various looks, and images. For instance, I adore watercolor for backgrounds, for hand-painted backgrounds, and to color background stamps. I love to use colored pencils for flowers and leaves. When it comes to little images like these, I prefer to use my alcohol markers, Copics. These images surely can be colored using other mediums, but alcohol markers is what I prefer for these kinds of images, so this is why I'm coloring these with Copics today. Whenever I color, I always try to color in groups. So I would color all images or all parts of the images using one color first. Here I'm coloring all using reds, and for this I use 3 markers, R39, R27, and R24. Now I don't have a lot of Copics, I have just a handful, and I pretty much always use the same color combos when I color. This works really well for me, and I always remember what combos work and what do not work. Next, I use brown markers and color the roof of my house, the trunk of the tree, and the lampposts. I'm making them look as if they are made out of wood, hence the brown coloring here. You'll notice I didn't color the tires of my car. I didn't want to add black there, so I just left them as is. To color the Christmas trees and the wreath on the lampposts, I'm using YG99, YG95, and YG93. Again, this is one of my go-to color combos for greenery on a holiday card. I also used B00 and B000 to color the windows, as well as Y19 to color the lights on the car. Now, there are coordinating dies available for this stamp set, but I don't have them, so I just used my scissors and cut my images out. While these are small images, they weren't too hard to cut out, mainly because I was using a good pair of scissors. I love these scissors from Tonic, and I did my stamping on thinner paper. Next, I grabbed another piece of cardstock. This is Neenah Solar White, 110 pound this time. I stamped another house. I'll need it to later be able to stamp a fence next to it. And I stamped a sentiment that reads, "There's Snow Place Like Home." I'm also adding the fence on both sides of the house, and I'm stamping it in Intense Black ink. I did not use my stamp positioner here as this image is small, and I pretty much was sure that I wouldn't have any problems stamping it. I used the same marker colors to color the fence, browns and greens. I thought about leaving the fence white, as I really do like that look, but I wasn't planning on coloring the background, so in order for my fence to not get lost on the card, I colored it brown. I foam mounted all of my cutout pieces onto this panel, forming a scene. There's a house with a fence on both sides, 2 lampposts in front of the fence, and a car parked in front of the house with a Christmas tree on its roof. I used tonic aqua shimmer brush to add glitter to the white sections of my images, so the snow, and also to the little lights hanging from the roof of the house, and I think that added just the perfect amount of sparkle to this card. I used Hero Art's white wood grain cardstock and covered the front of an A2 card with this paper. I adore this cardstock and I use loads of it. It simply is perfect and adds enough texture to clean and simple cards. Finally, I foam mounted my scene panel on top and added sparkling clear sequins from Pretty Pink Posh to embellish my card. Now, I also stamped a sentiment on the inside of the card that reads, "May the Christmas season fill your home with joy and laughter." I don't usually decorate my cards on the inside, but I decided to do so this time, especially since I had such a nice sentiment to stamp here. So this finishes this card. I hope you'll give this idea a try. As always, do tag Simon Says Stamp and me on social media so we can take a peek at your project. We'd love to see what you make. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet done so. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time. Bye!